It says starting and we're live. Should be. Now let me see about. It's supposed to give me a reminder.
Oh, here we go again. It says waiting.
One watching now. But what are they watching? Because
that would be me, but it says it's waiting.
Maybe I need to. I thought this would just start right up, the silly thing. How much of a delay is there?
Well, do you have it set to public?
Yep, it's set to public. There's 3 viewers now, so someone else has joined us.
Yeah, Belinda's here. Ruth is here. Good morning, ladies.
Oh, I see Belinda and Ruth. I can see you, Shell. Hi. Okay, I guess it's just not going to play on.
I can't see it on the iPad.
Yeah, but I can see the chat, and that's what really matters. It doesn't really matter what I see on the screen as much as I can see the chat. There's Beverly. There's Edwig, Belinda. Lots of people. Lots of people are joining us, so that's good. We'll just.
Yeah. Yep, we're here.
I can see the chat today. Yay!
Good morning, everybody. If you're watching this at a later date, this was a live broadcast on YouTube. And if you'd like to join us live each week, it's on Thursday at 8 Pacific and 10 Central.
Yeah, I'm Chelsea, and she's Peg Robinson, in case you were wondering.
And we're glad you're here. Hello?
Yes. Dorothy doesn't have a pic. Beverly's happy that I can see the chat today. I don't know. Is it an Apple thing? I don't know. The iPad, I can see it on my PC, but I can't see it on my iPad.
Well, I'm gonna try it because I had a problem last week with this. I couldn't get a picture.
Dorothy says hers is starting up. Hers is starting up. So maybe we're just slightly delayed. Okay. Hi, Pat. People are coming in. Someday we're going to figure this out. We're going to know how all this different stuff works.
Know. At least I have a chat and I have you on my picture in front of me. So we'll just go.
Yeah, we'll just go. All right, we'll just go. The heck with this silly stuff. We've got chat.
Exactly. You know.
So on my screen, which I can show you, I have a 6x6 gel plate and 8x10. I've got one of my minis on an acrylic block, and I've got a bigger acrylic block with a 4-inch circle. I could switch that out for a 5x7, or I also have these other square and circle minis. So this is like my entire gelatin plate collection. And what I'm doing is I'm going to make I'm making a plate that I don't know exactly what it's called. I used to know this and I forgot to look it up, but it basically, you put paint on it and you put it on here and it makes an impression. So I drew some autumn leaves on a piece of styrofoam, which is the bottom of a meat tray. And I'm using a ball stylus to draw over them, and I just have this one leaf left, so that's all I'm doing is just going around where I drew. I like the fatter ball because it glides over the styrofoam better, but it doesn't make as deep of impression into the styrofoam. So then I end up using the smaller one, which kind of hiccups along the styrofoam, but you know, I like to use junk. I like to recycle. And so this is basically just reusing a styrofoam meat tray. So what are you doing, Peg?
Oh, just dragging stuff out here. Nothing in particular. I have a number of different plates out. I don't know what I'm going to do. You know, jelly printing is like that. It's always a surprise when you pull something off the plate. I use a multitude of different things, just like you. I use my own stamps. I use stencils. I use masks. I use stamps, whatever we got, right?
Yep, that's what we're going to do, is just kind of play. I hope some of you who have joined us are going to play along, perhaps, and then maybe we can.
Beverly's saying she wishes she was at home because she'd like to play along.
Yeah, it would be fun.
I hope some of you are at home. I hope some of you have your plates out and you're just going to have fun with us here.
I see Cheryl. I see Ela or E. I'm not sure. I say it Ela, but that might not be right. I see Michael Ann. Yes, Michael Ann, you can make stamps from the foam board. Yes, you can make them out of anything. You will see me use a ton of stuff. I know that Peg has out her Vivid Metallics and dark paper today. She's mentioned that earlier. So, but I'll show you how this works. This styrofoam situation that I was talking about that has a name I can't remember right now. It sticks to the plates, but I've made impressions into the styrofoam all around the lines. I think I've pretty much completed them all. I just made this morning. It's no big deal. I have a couple other ones that I made in the past that I can show you. And there is a video on my channel of using them. These are here in my bin next to me. This is another one that has flowers on it. But I figured since we were doing fall and autumn, and we would do those. So all that you do with it, and it's easy to use, and you need like an old card of some sort, and then you just need some paint. And I generally, well, I'll start with black because that shows up the best, but it's really fun to do it with metallic as well. Let's see if I can find some black here. Here we go. And you just take a little bit of paint, put it on your card, and this is a heavy body acrylic, and then you can just drag it across and scoop up the excess so that all that paint goes down into the crevices that you've drawn with your ball stylus. Oh, I did miss a leaf. There's one that's not been drawn because I could see it's not doing anything.
Oh, well.
Yeah, that's life. I could go over it later.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that all of the paint is getting down in there with the heavy body acrylic. Don't you have some new masks that you can use today, Peg? I saw you make some on your channel
the other day.
Can you find them? That's always the trick, isn't it?
Ew. I have goobers in my paint.
Ew, gross.
Well, I didn't pull that. You know that little skin that you get right on the top of the paint tube?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I didn't pull that, so it's like goober.
I have that problem all the time, but I do save those and then I use them in other stuff in collage.
I have seen you do that. It's like, oh my gosh, she saved those.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that would be our shell. She's always got an idea.
Gotta save all the junk, you know, because I mean, it's not like it's not trash or anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so this printing plate is all filled up, and you can see there's the one that I forgot to draw over. And then I'm just going to put this down on my plate and press a little bit. And of course, I'm already starting a good collection of paint on my hands. And you can do it more than once. I may not have pressed hard enough. You really got to give it some oomph. And of course, as you're printing along, the more that you print, the more, there, that's a lot better. The more impressions that you get, it gets better and better because you've put more paint onto it. Let's see if I can get a little bit more onto this one.
Ruth says she just has a few minutes and she'll play along with the video later.
Okay, that's good. Yep. You can always do jelly printing anytime. It's
one of those things.
Something you can whip out and do it a little bit, but the only problem with that is that you start and you can't stop, of course. So now I'm going to let this dry a little bit. And you know, I live in Arizona, so it does not take long. It really doesn't.
Okay. You want to switch over to me? I'm
Yeah.
doing my first pull.
Okay. Oh, you're on top of it already. Look at that. She's
Well,
on fire.
I don't know about on fire, but I'm, putting stuff down. I'm also putting some coating on my hands because I know I'm going to have a wash up to do later. So I'm using a mask, and the colors that I'm using are, I put on a gold and a, what color is this? Some kind of light green and lake blue. What color is that? Brilliant yellow green, it says.
Oh, that's a pretty color. I have that one.
I'm
It's like
using a lightweight black paper to do my pull with. And there we go.
Ooh, pretty. I love that stencil.
And then I have a secondary one that I can pull. I think what I'm going to do is, like you, I might let this dry a little bit because if you guys can see my plate, it's got a nice pattern going. I might let this dry a little bit and then put a coat over the top for the second pull because I want to maintain that image on there. But I do like that one.
Yeah, I like to and what I'm going to be trying to do more today that I haven't really done in a lot of my videos is to kind of think about the gel plate as a canvas and build up a background of multiple layers like a composition. So I want to try doing some of that today. So
yeah,
rather than just printing like a mad person, which is also fun.
Yeah, we do a lot of that too, but there is a reason for that. We sometimes need to produce a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and I need to build up my scraps. I'm really low on stuff, so I'm going to start out with some Liquitex basics here. Oh, that one's so gunky. I love this color. This Naples yellow is so beautiful, especially in the autumn, but this paint is completely gross. I should just throw it out is what I should do, but I'm not going to. I think I'll have a little bit of, oh, there's something on there. A little bit of gold and a little bit of a rusty color. That one makes an interesting noise. I hope this one's not all gunked up too. It's not coming out.
Uh-oh.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's pretty gunked up too. Gross. That's gross. Why does it do that?
Are you on me or on you? I can't tell.
I think I'm on me. I think. Ooh, and that one came right out. And that one is a alizarin crimson hue. So I'm just going to go ahead and brayer. When you're braying, rather than just going back and forth, when you do that, you're rolling the same area over and over. So you want to roll, pick up, roll, pick up, roll, pick up. And then in that way, you can really get a good coverage on your situation. I put a little bit of that black on this 6x6 too. So it's fun to have two different plates at the same time, or 3 or 4. You know, just get them all out, because then you can use any excess paint that you might have accidentally squirted out on that. And then of course I've got paper over here to get any excess paint off my brayer. And then these are just pieces of 12 by 12 deli paper that have already been used. They're too dirty for me to continue putting them under my projects, but they're not dirty enough to throw away. So I just like to print on them. And then that's another form of recycling that I enjoy. So I also have some junk mail to print on as well. So then when you're trying to pick up the crusty bits like I am, because, you know, I put the crusty bits there on purpose, you need to give it a little bit of time to bond. And it looks like I have too much paint on my first print, but you get the idea of it. I've got little, see, I've got little pattern and lines in there. but I did let that alizarin crimson go kind of crazy. So let's take a second one here. Press it down real good. You know, you can even use your brayer and make sure that everything is really getting together there and being friends, or married, as the case may be. Sometimes people call it married. That one didn't turn out very pretty. All right, so let me pull this one and then we'll go back to Peg because she's probably got something awesome going on over there. Still didn't get all the crusty bits off there, but it makes a very interesting pattern in the background.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's different. It's something different.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many options of things you can do that I think I'm going to go ahead and do some. What are you doing? I switched it over to you.
Oh, did
Ooh,
you?
what's that
Okay.
swirly
Well,
stencil?
I have put down some colors on here. I'm just selecting some stencils. And I think I want this bubble, but they have to wait for that because it's kind of a big one. Let me get, this is not quite dry yet, so I'm going to let that go just a little bit longer. I'm going to pull the first bit of this one. This is a 6x6. Thanks, Barb. Barb's saying that that's beautiful. Liz, Peg, can you push your plate? Yeah, I know, because I was trying to show you the prints. So I have kind of a limited area. Let me see if I can make, no, I'm as big as I can go here. Sorry about that. When you have multiple plates out, it takes up a lot of space. So let me see if I got, okay, so here's the first pull on this. And I'm going to lift this stencil and just flip it on my piece of paper to kind of clean some of that off. I may have to get rid of a plate or two because I don't have a place to show you guys all of this. So I flipped that over. So now I have the reverse on here also. And I still have this down here to play with. So I can take another piece and pick up that 6x6. Hi, Carol. Carol's here.
Yeah, I see that. Barbara likes my print.
Yeah. So let me get that one up. So there's that one. So now I have 3 images off of that pull.
That's a really cool stencil.
That's a Andy Skinner.
Andy Skinner.
Yeah.
Smart guy, that Andy Skinner.
And I put a little bit on these other round ones. And I'm just going to take a piece. I'm going to create some color block here that I'll put stuff into later. With these round ones. And
so are you still using the Vivids? Or no, you were using Liquitex.
I was using Joe Sonia.
Oh, Joe Sonia.
Chromas. Let me show you what they are. I have 2 different paints here. I have a Joe Sonia. This one is what color? Blackberry, I think. This one is, you know, they're just different colors. They're raindrop, blackberry, and then this one is a chalkboard paint. Some kind of blue. I don't know. It was $2.99, not an expensive one.
I have a really pretty print to show you guys. This is going to be really pretty. So I put that same, junk that was left on there. I put some of this buff titanium paint over it, which I like to do. And then I just let it marinate on there with this piece of white cardstock. And it's very pretty. I started to pull it. So it's pulled up some of the leaves. It's pulled up some metallic, some of that rusty color. It's pretty, huh? That's the type of stuff I like, is all the crusty stuff. You can see some of the whole leaf forms in here. So I got that one and this one and this one out of that first collection. This one you can see it's even still wet. It had too much paint on the plate. So that's just something that you have to practice with, is figuring out how much paint to put on there, how much paint to get it off. And yeah, so that's what I was doing. Switch back.
Okay. So this is partially dry now, so I'm going to try to pull that whole crusty bit off of here. I have a little Titan Buff and some of that raindrop that I'm going to try to work into the background here. And I don't want to overwork it because I don't want to move the underneath paint, but I want a real thin wet coat. That's key. If you're going to pull the dry, you need a real thin wet coat to pull that with. And you see it's starting to dry before I even get to it. So I'm going to add a little bit more. Just a little bit more because it's getting crusty.
What's that noise?
You got a noise?
Yeah, I don't know. And my stupid iPad keeps turning off.
Oh, so sorry.
Because I guess it's not watching anything, because there's nothing on the screen. It's only got the chat.
Yeah, I know. My phone does that too.
Yeah. Silly technology. But anyway.
Okay, so I'm pulling a little bit back with my brayer before I go on there with the paper. I'm going to grab a piece of that. I think I'm going to grab a piece of the black. Where'd it go? Doo.
It ran away from home.
Yeah, it did. It did. Okay, so I've got another piece here. So I'm going to lay that down and try to pick that image up. Did you get your chat back?
Yeah, I got my chat back. It looks like they're talking about the stencil looking like a hurricane.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry has joined us.
Oh, good morning, Jerry.
Michael Ann is asking what everyone's favorite stencil is. And she says that Harlequin is her favorite. That's my favorite too.
So I'm not in love with this one. One of the reasons is because you're not seeing the black. So I think this is a good candidate to come back on top of with the black to enhance that image.
Oh, you mean a pop of black?
Yes, a Patty Tally Parish pop.
Pop of black. Pop of black.
Oops, I just got paint all over my phone. Whoops.
We also need to say, hello, lover.
Yeah.
I love it when she says that. Hello, lover.
Well, I haven't had one of those yet today, so maybe.
Yes, I haven't either. Well, that Titan Buff one might have been in Hello, Lover. Maybe. I don't know. It's pretty. It's pretty. So yeah. I'm going to...
I mean, I like this one much better than this one just because the black element is there. Okay?
Yes. So then you just need to put the pop of black over the top.
Exactly,
that's right.
Exactly.
Pop some of that black. Pop some of that black. So I went ahead and finished doing my last leaf that I hadn't traced around with my ball stylus. And now, I guess I could switch it to my screen so you could see what I was doing while I was talking. Putting on some, you guessed it, copper. I just can't imagine that I would be doing copper. I don't know what's wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with copper. I like copper.
It's my favorite. My favorite.
So I have a question for the audience. Do you all gel print? Do you all do monoprints of some sort? We want to know, is this something that's brand new to you? Is it something you just do and love? Is it something that, you know, maybe someday you'd like to do a hangout with us and, you know, just spend some time jelly printing? Let us know. What are your thoughts?
I think some people that, at least in my channel, some of the people that have commented have said that gelatin plates are expensive and they're not sure that it's something that they really need at this point. But then later on, they'll come back and they'll say, you know what, you convinced me.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. It's just that I love it. I think that it's a good thing to do on a rainy Saturday afternoon. The reward is well worth the price, and it's reusable forever, so you can always use it again.
We're getting some response. Loving jelly printing. Would love to do a jelly hangout. Have not tried gel printing, but want to.
Ooh, a newbie.
Yeah. Oops, wait a minute. It's scrolling too fast for me. Okay. And yeah, you don't have to get the great big one to start with. I mean, some of them are very inexpensive. Like if you look at, and here's the thing, you have your choice of makers now. Used to be, it was, everything was Jelly Arts because that's all that was out there. But now there are a number of different plates available. Like here, you see, I'm not sure where we are.
Oh, I need to switch over to you. I'm busy printing my plate here.
I think I just did. Okay, so here's a plate from Gel Press, and that's this size. And if you're doing things like cards or ATCs or anything like that, this is perfectly fine to use for that type of printing. Or even this 4x4 round is fine to use for that type of printing. You know, you don't have to make a huge investment just to get started. One of the things that I liked is this 6-inch square because I have all of this old scrapbook paper that I want to use up, and some of it is not the prettiest thing in the world. So I can take, you know, all of this paper that I don't necessarily love, and I can print that on this 6-inch block. So that is my 2 cents worth on that.
And I agree with you 100%. I think currently my favorite is actually the 6x6 square, which is the one you sent me, because I can just whip it out. You know, it's like, it's not a commitment to get that thing out for a little while and just play with it. So I went ahead and printed that copper leafy thing all over all of my plates here that I have on the table, as you can see. I got my 6x6. I got a triangle over here that actually still has some paint on it, so that will be interesting. And as I started to press harder to get the copper out of the little impressions, I started to get some black, so that's going to be kind of cool. And then this is a print I previously did, the first one I did, that was very dark and had a lot of paint on it. And now, ooh, hello, lover.
Oh, there you go. Look at those colors. Ooh, love it.
I put that copper, the leaf prints. It's hard to see on the camera.
See, that metallic stuff. That's why we all love these Pebeo Dyna.
Oh, yeah.
They are the bomb when it comes to jelly printing.
Bomb diggity.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to put on some quinacridone magenta over on this 6x6. I'm going to go with that. And what shall we do? Maybe on this one we'll put the brown, which is a burnt sienna. And then on that little one, it already has some greenish colors on it from some previous time that I was doing this. So let's put a dark green on there. This one is green permanent. All right. So let's switch back to Peg and I'll get all these rolled. Oh, she's got out the Pebeo. Dinah.
Yeah. Well, Barb's saying gorgeous shell, and she loves the Lumiere paints. Yes, I have always. And the cool thing about those is they work good on fabric. So like Barb is a quilter. If you guys haven't followed Barb, check her out. You know, click on those little 3 dots and check her out because she is a quilter and she does some awesome work. So I have these Vivids, and the thing is they separate out quite a bit. So I'm just shaking and shaking right now. But I'm going to use some of the Pebeo along with it. And I think I'm going to go to the blue-green to start with because I'm thinking fall. I really like this time of year. If you guys notice down in the description for today, I put a link for you to something that Shell and I did last fall, which was Gel with Shell Paint with Peg. And it was a collaboration that we had done. And we swapped gel prints and made things from the prints that we shared with one another. So if you haven't seen that, check it out because we had fun.
Oh, yes, we did.
Well, Barb says she hasn't printed any fabric yet, but you know, there's always a first time, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to use a little bit of this Vivid on here also. Let's see what I get.
Hopefully it comes out very vivid.
Yeah, they do. They really do. They really. I can't get this one out of the bottle, so I have to take the lid off. All right, let's just go to a different color. How's that?
My favorite of those Vivids is that silver, that whatever it's called.
Yeah, that's really, really gorgeous. Really gorgeous.
So pretty.
Now I'm gonna muck it up because I'm gonna add some of this. What is this? Azalea pink.
We'll see how that works.
Well, it's a beautiful color.
But does it go with those? I guess it will because you got the dark.
I have the dark blue next to it, which is a purple. Who likes purple?
I don't know anyone who likes purple. It's not like it's the best color in the universe or anything.
Yeah, you know, you don't necessarily have to have a huge plate for that. What she's talking about, Barb is talking about fabric. And she's talking about, it seems like you need a huge plate for that. Well, if you want to print huge pieces, you can get a huge plate. But, you know, my little ones can go all over the place. And you don't have to have a huge plate to just, you know, use them like a stamp, because then you can pick it up like this and you can just stamp onto your fabric. So, you know, you have a lot of options.
Yeah, and I think it's really fun to use. I've stamped on fabric before, and I think it's really fun to use the mini square that I'll show you here. Because, and someone's asking me to show the plate again. This mini square, you can just do a different color with a different pattern and then just start putting them in a quilted looking pattern along your fabric with different stencils and different colors, and it's great. It's so fun. Carol was asking this. What I made, Carol, is this is the bottom of a styrofoam tray from a meat tray, and then I drew some leaves on it, and then I used a ball stylus. Where did my stupid stylus go? Well, this is a different one with a bigger ball, and I went over the pattern, digging it down into the styrofoam, and then I just use a little credit card to scrape paint across there so that it goes down into the grooves, and then I put that down and press onto my plate and let that dry a little bit, and it makes an impression. It's got a name, but I can't think of it right now. But I'll show you all these copper ones since I've got them all done. Here's copper and brown. You can see I'm in the fall mood. Here's the, ooh, yeah, the Quin Magenta with the copper.
Love that color.
Oh, that's pretty. I wish metallic showed up better on video.
I know, you just can't get it.
And then I've got green over here with the small one.
Jerry loves green.
Green. And then this one was, oh, this one was brown also. This, I put too much out, so I put some more on this one. So that's the brown and copper too. So those are a start. Anyway, so let's see what Peg's doing. Back to Peg.
I just pulled this one.
Ooh, pretty. Oh, look at the shine on that.
Well, it's got to dry to get the real shimmer on there, because, you know, the metallics, when they're wet, don't really show as much. But I'm sure that this is going to really glisten once it's dry. And I'm going to pull that stencil off. And then I'm going to take a secondary print. See what we get with this. And there is the second print. And I see I have a heavy hand through there. Just gonna put a little more paint down. This time I'm going to use some of this. What is this?
Pat has to go. She says goodbye. She will catch the rest on record.
This is lemongrass. And if I can get, I'm going to use some of this Pebeo with it. I'm going to use some very blue iridescent.
Ooh, pretty. I'm going to get out some of that, the iridescent blue black.
Yeah, that's a pretty one too. You know, if you don't have black paper, iridescent black is pretty darn good. You can even put a coat of that down before you put something else on top, which is really pretty.
Yeah, I'm blending it with dioxazine purple.
Now, the one thing that you want to remember is when you're doing this, you want to have a real light hand with your brayer. You know, I'm just pulling it across. I'm not pushing onto my plate, because that's going to leave grooves if you push onto the plate. So let's see, what do I have now? I have a, let's do this one. And do that on a white.
Ooh, pretty.
You just want to make sure you get all those corners.
See how this looks black.
Yeah, there's that iridescence.
Pretty.
So, because I have iridescence, I should do that on black, right?
Yes,
For the
absolutely. I've got a black one going too, but I'm not sure what it's going to come out like. But I put a little bit of dioxazine purple and a little bit of PBO blue noir iridescent, which is the iridescent blue black. And then I put a stencil over it, which is a new stencil that I have. And I printed that off onto this brown one, which looks pretty. And then now I've got a piece of black paper, and let's see what comes up. Ooh. It's like iridescent.
So that was kind of a double print, because what I did was I put the stencil on the back side as I was cleaning up, because I pulled it up and I put it on the back side. And then when I pressed it down, I had my impression here, but I also had my cleanup on the back side. So it's 2 for 1.
2 for 1. It's a good way to clean up your stencils too, to make sure they're not too gross. Huh?
So I have these little ones I need to do. Let me pull these over. Oops, sticking my finger in it.
Yeah, I think probably the most important thing that people mess up on and then are unhappy with their prints is when they put too much paint.
Yeah.
And it's just gloppy.
Common occurrence.
Yeah. And that's easy to do because, you know, especially if you're using craft paint, it comes out like out of the bottle like it's off to the races. And it's very easy to just put way too much. And then you mush it around with your brayer and you've got all this sliding off the sides. That's why I prefer the heavier body paints, because they're easier to control. For sure. So I put some blue-green over this that had that little bit from the compass stencil left. Let's see what we got. There's still some compass stencil on there. I got a little bit of it. I like that when it's just the edges of the stencil, the edges of the holes of the stencil. But anyway, it's pretty. It's pretty. I don't think I can lift anything more off of here. So let's start over. Oh, I have a new stencil. I have another new stencil I haven't even opened. This one's pretty cool. This is a Crafter's Workshop that has like, it's kind of like a collage. I got this at Tuesday morning the other day. So it must be on getting, you know, it must be on clearance or whatever, you know. That's how Tuesday morning works.
Love that Tuesday morning sale stuff. Yep.
Oh, this even has a leaf and a flower and a postmark. That's interesting. Interesting.
Thanks, Barb. She says she loves the iridescence.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to
see what anyone else
smaller stencils here. Oh. Gotta have that one. Sometimes you surprise yourself, right?
Yep. Especially when you're moving from one room to another with your studio and you're like, I didn't even remember that existed. Wow, that's so cool.
Oh, that's funny.
What do I want to do? What do I want to do? I don't know.
I bought these Vivids when they first came out. And one of the things that people have complained about with them is that the caps don't work well. Well, they've changed all of that. They changed how they're packaging them. I was noticing that myself today as I was doing this, that yeah, I couldn't get the paint to come out through the lid, so I'm going to have to soak all of those to get it to do what I want it to do. So let's see what this looks like on a.
This time I just put the stencil first over the pattern, over the jelly plate, I mean, and then I am going to, and I used Prussian blue, and I'm going to remove some of it by putting a piece over it. And also hopefully picking up some of that pattern of the stencil. Not much, huh? And then when I remove it, I'll have that pattern on there, and I'm going to go over it with a light color. I don't know if I'm going to use gold or copper. What are you doing? Let's switch over to you. Oh, looks like you've got some new prints.
Using this Patty Parish stencil. I've got some ink or paint left on it, so I'm going to push that down and see if I can pick up any of that was left. But you see it gave a really nice impression right here. And that was with those vivid metallics. And here's another vivid that I have ready to roll. And I'm going to use this. Let's see, where do I want this? I'm going to use this like this. And I think I'm going to put that on a piece of black just to see how those, the vivids I'm finding are very transparent.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I mean, I don't actually own them, but I've noticed that when other people use them, they seem very transparent.
Where the Pebeo is more opaque.
Yeah.
So, Barb's just learning her keyboard. Oh, look at that. Yum.
Hello, lover.
Hello, hello.
Patty's not going to enjoy me using her tagline, I don't think.
Oh, I think she would. I think she'd get a kick out of it. She's a good kid. You know the people that you can play around with and have fun with. It's just like I use that heat gun all the time from Paula Phillips.
Oh, yeah. Heat
I think
gun.
we all do that, you know, because they coined a phrase, and it's good to be recognized, right?
Yes, it is. Maybe somebody watching today hasn't heard of them, and now they can go look them up.
Right.
Let's see what we got. All right, I'll show you what we got. Okay. So I ended up putting some iridescent silver from PBO over that Prussian blue impression. And this is what I got.
Oh, nice.
And there's still some of that compass in the background. Some of the purple compass. I'm not sure what happened right there. I must have had a bubble. Silly thing. But that is pretty.
Yes, it is.
I think I'm going to build a composition on this one, like I said I was going to do. So since I've got some of that dioxazine in the background, I'm going to take my small brayer and just put some paint down onto my, you can't see it, but I just put it onto my roll-off paper, onto my small brayer, and I'm just going to kind of, ew, there's something on there. What is that? Got it. And there's some right there too. Paint smudge.
Smudge?
Yep.
That's a good word too. Smudge.
Smudge. So I'm just going to add some color here and there around the edges, trying to move quickly so that I can make sure that I get some of this onto my paper if it dries too quickly. See, in Arizona, it's very, very different than printing in a humid place.
Karen says nothing like being 45 minutes late. It's okay. We're still here.
Has it actually been 45 minutes?
I guess.
Holy smokes.
Well, that's the way this goes. I'm having fun. What can I say?
Yep.
I make no excuses. When I jelly print, I take all day.
All right, let's see what this comes out like. Okay, so now I've added that purple into the composition. See how it came out? And then I can add some more pattern. I still have this weird spot right here on my plate. I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe I want some smaller elements. Let's see, what do I have that I could use for smaller elements? How about some circles? You can never go wrong with circles. So I'm just going to put the stencil directly down onto the plate. And I need a third color. Let's go with the red. How about a red? And I think I'll use the fluids. These are the mixed media fluid paint. Yeah, that's too blue, too red, I think. Let's see, what do we got? How about, oh, well, you can't go wrong with a Quinn. Where's the, there it is. Let's go with the quinacridone gold. I changed my mind. It's my prerogative to change my mind anytime I want. So I'm just putting a few little dots in some of the openings, and then I'm just going to go over it with my small sprayer. To get that distributed. And the interesting thing that I like about that is then it kind of gets, the paint accumulates in the edges of the holes, if that makes sense. And I get like darker and lighter, and that's the reason that I like it so much. Whoops. Page is stuck. So then I can just put this in places, press it down, lift it back up, and I just get it in some places of the composition. Kind of like building a collage. And you can just build layers and layers and layers until you get some crazy cool thing that you like. If that makes sense.
It does to me.
And also, Peg and I, well, I'm speaking for Peg. She doesn't know this yet. But if we get something we really think is awesome, we'll go ahead and scan it and put it as a usable option in the Art Joy Sharing Facebook group. So you can go and download it and use it for your project. If something's really super cool that we just think is the best thing ever since sliced bread.
Or at least I think it's super cool.
Yeah. So I switched back to you, but you're not there. What are you doing?
Oh,
Come
well,
back here.
I just finished pulling this.
Uh-huh.
Which is, I was using that small block several different times. And then I had a little bit of extra paint that I had on another block. So, I mean, these are all good for collage elements. You don't necessarily have to use this page as it comes out. If you watch our previous gel sessions where we shared things, we did a lot of collage with these prints, and that'll give you some good ideas about how you can use these. So
that's what I use that's the most thing that I do. Sometimes I make them into books or things like that if I print on a heavier thing. But otherwise, I use them for collage. But I'm a collage beast anyway, so it can't stop me. I'm going to collage until the end of the world.
Well, and who would want to stop you? Who would want to stop you?
I don't know. There might be somebody who hates collage, but then they might not be nice people anyways. Oh. They hate collage. Okay, so to continue on my little journey of composition here, I am going to, I just using up some extra paint there, over there. But I got out a smaller plate on a round. Everything gets stuck to everything. Urgh. And I'm going to actually use the stencil. I got too many piles going on here, and I really thought that this element right here was interesting, this medallion looking thing. So I'm going to put that pattern on here, and then I'm just going to stamp it. Oh, great. No, I'm not, because you know what? It got dry because I was too busy talking. So
oh, talking so loud.
That's Arizona. You can't talk while you're gel printing. I really need some more Titan Buff really badly. I'm going to put some of that on there to pick up that pattern that I was just going on about talking too much. Okay, let's try that. But yeah, it's fun to use these small ones as kind of, it's almost like a stamp. All right, the pattern didn't come off. Gonna let it dry a little bit. We can still fix that one over here by putting some more Prussian blue on there. I'm putting it on my roll-off paper, and then I'm going to just go right through the stencil. The fluid paints dry even quicker than the heavy body paints, but I wanted that Prussian blue.
Can you even use chalk paints out there?
Yeah.
I bet the crafts and the chalks really dry quickly for you.
I don't really have a whole lot of chalk paint, but I have used it before. You just have to be quick. Like for instance, this one, I put a couple layers of extra paint thinking I would print it eventually. It's got silver and it's got Prussian blue, but it's completely dry. There's like nothing coming off it. And that was a short amount of time that it was there. So it's just crazy how dry and everything it is here.
Yeah.
Okay, so that finally came out. That's a cool part of that stencil. All right. I've got it back to you.
Okay. So I'm just getting ready to do this pull on the piece of black. So let's see what we get. And I should probably clean off my stencil a little bit. So I'm going to flip it over on the back side. You know, because sometimes the back is better than the front. You just never know.
You never know. You can come up with the best thing ever.
And I'm going to pull the front. And there it is. Ta-da!
Pretty.
And now I have, see, I take the excess paint and I put it on my smaller piece.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
And let me
end up with all these excess bits and bobs everywhere.
Bit on there. Bet it will. I'm going to do a little piece that might end up being part of a collage. Which is this. This is a Donna Downey stencil.
Oh, she has beautiful stencils.
See if I can put it over the top of this if it won't distort it too much. She does. You know, everybody's got great stencils. I am a stencil hound. What can I say? Let's see if it's going to pull. Oh, yeah, I think it's going to work. Okay. All right. There it is. You see that?
Oh, pretty. So which color Vivid was that?
This actually was the Pebeo.
Oh, the Pebeo. Okay.
Yeah. And I had pulled the circular, the bubble stencil first. This was the first pull with the bubble stencil because you just want to clean the paint out of the holes before you go in and get the stencil image. So that's what I did. This was to clean the holes out. And then I did the secondary stamp or stencil over the top with the same kind of greens up here on the blue area. So now, one of the things, you know, I would love to scan that one for you, but because that is proprietary.
Yeah, that is one problem for sure.
So
can't really do that.
One of the things that we have to remember is that we need to use our own things when we're doing that, which reminds me, I should get some of my own out, right?
Yes.
I'll get those.
All right, well, she's off. I put some of that on this 6x6. I put some of that Prussian blue media paint. And then I put that same stencil over the top and I used the brayer to remove some of the paint out of it. And then I put, I think it's gold. We'll find out. Yeah, gold over it. And I get that. Prussian blue and gold is a good combination. And then I started adding some more layers to my other little composition one. I just put some copper on there on the plate in places. So like right there and right there and right there, some copper. So this is building up to be an interesting background. And if, you know, as you continue to build, if you want to, you can bring your stencil back. Say I want a flower down here, and I think that maybe a little bit more copper would be pretty. Can come back in with just directly with the stencil and use a sponge and add some design elements that way. This cute little sunflower. I like the stencil because it has a lot of different interesting elements on it. So then you end up with, you know, something else that you might want here and there. So that's the way to build up a composition with the gel plate. Looks like Peg's coming back with her own handmade stencils.
Right. Well, these are stamps that I've created with foam, and I have videos out there, but this is like a backing of another stamp where I had used the fuse tool just to carve into this. And then
oh, the fuse tool again.
Another use for the hot things, right?
Yeah.
And so I'll try to go back and put some links in for you for some of that stuff. But I mean, yeah. So these are masks and stencils that I had created. You know, I needed some leaves, that sort of thing. So these are things that I created just by cutting out some stencil material. So we'll use some of those and see how they work.
Good plan.
Let me get some fall copper.
Copper, copper.
Oh,
Not gonna hear me complaining.
I didn't think I would.
No, not at all.
A little bit of this orange to that. I think we need a little bit of that going on. Now we have Gina's joined us. Good morning, Gina.
Yes, I better go look at the chat and make sure that we're not missing anything. I'm so busy being silly over here.
Are you being silly?
Oh yeah, I'm just I mean, you can't even imagine all the crazy stuff I do.
Okay, so I have this excess, and because it's shimmery and shiny, let me try an experiment. I have this cutout one. Let me just roll over that. Oh yeah, I'm getting a little shadow there. Not much, but it's enough, you know, that if I wanted to stamp over that or you know, outline it, it's there. So that's kind of fun. But now I have this, and let's do those leaves that I had created. Let's see what this looks like here. I want it to go that way. All right, so let's do that. Gina loves our homemade stuff.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to start playing with some of my junk here. I think I'm pretty happy with my little composition.
Okay, so there's one of my homemade ones.
Probably make that into something. I don't know.
And now I'm going to use the same piece of paper and pick up what's on the plate. Oops. And it slid a little bit, so we'll see how that turns out. Oh, there's a little bit of an impression. Kind of a fun, funky. I like this one better though. I do have my preferences, but these are the kinds of things that I can scan and put in for you guys because hey, they're my own. They're not somebody else's. So let me get the bigger plate.
Okay.
Get the big mama out here. Because I got this one. I think it'd be fun. And I know Shell loves copper and orange, so
Yep.
maybe even a little yellow or gold in with that.
Okay, let's see. What can we do here?
Okay. Get that spread.
Karen says she's in the Netherlands and it's dinner time, and we're all saying morning here because good morning because it's morning.
Yeah, well, it's about 11 o'clock here, so
this started at 8 my time, but I don't know what time it is now.
Because you're having too much fun.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, we're not going to be able to do this all day, so we're going to have to figure out when to stop. Well, I mean, we could, but people are going to be like, those people, they never stop that gel printing, and they just need to stop someday. No, we don't.
Okay. Well,
never.
I'm not sure what's showing because I can't see that.
It's you.
Is it me?
Yeah, I don't.
I better slide this up where they can see it, huh?
Yep. I decided to get out some Dilutions paints. Give those a little whirl with some of my
use
trash.
those babies up.
Yeah. And I'm still sticking with the fall colors though because I'm crazy like that.
Let's just do a little composition with these. I have this one. This leaf. What did I do with those other ones? This one. And oops, I smudged.
You made it a smooshy mess.
Well, you know, sometimes those are kind of slippery.
Yeah, definitely. I'm using one of my favorite trash tools on my first layer over here, which is this one that I made. It's toilet paper rolls cut and squished down to a leaf shape and then hot glued onto a piece of styrofoam. And it makes really cool. It makes a really cool pattern. So let's see if we can see here. See? It's a cool pattern. I like it.
Cool pattern.
And that's the coffee bean and pesto, I think. Chopped pesto paint from Dilutions.
Cool.
And let's take a second print so that I can clean some of this up. And you can, oh, that's pretty. So you've put your stencils over and put some of the leaves on there?
This is just this was the print that I pulled.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, this was the mask that I had made. And I need to do my black on something here. Show them what that looks like.
Pop a black.
So I'm going to clean this off. Okay, so here's the cleanup, which is interesting too, right?
Mm-hmm.
But remember that print that I started out with in the beginning, which was this one. I need to put something over that. So I'm thinking I'm going to use this Dyna Blue
Oh, the
more
Dyna Blue Black. Yeah.
iridescent.
That's good stuff.
And I'm going to add just a touch of black to that to make it a little bit darker. Let's see what that does. And then I need to figure out what I want to put over the top of this. Let's grab a patty. Grab a patty. Stencil here. And brayer. A dirty brayer. Clean some of that paint off. Oh, I like that blue-black combo. Very nice.
Oh, getting paint all over my hands. Crazy.
Put this on here, like so, and do that over here. Let's see what we get. A little more rubby-dubby. Rubby-dubby.
Rub-a-dub-a-dub.
Coining a new phrase, folks. Rubby-dubby.
That's a legitimate one, I think.
You like that? Nobody's got that one yet, huh? That's ours.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you can see how much more that comes off the page.
Oh yeah, that
I'm
makes a
not going to use
huge
that
difference.
keyword that Shell has a problem with.
Oh, don't you dare!
Yeah.
No, none of that.
Can you see the shimmer? That's what that blue-black did. Just gave it that shimmer.
I think that one needs some copper. I don't know.
So now I've got, this is just a roll-off. If I can get it apart. I made kind of a mess over here. I have a roll-off. It's kind of dry, but I'm going to pick this up on. See, it's got color on there. And then, of course, we still got this on the back side, so we'll clean that off.
Karen says she likes the orange, brown, and yellow.
How grungy cool is that?
What other? Gina says she likes the homemade stencils the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gina has some lovely stencils on her Etsy.
She does. And if you guys aren't aware of Gina, Jerry, are you somebody that's an admin? I think I put you guys in there and put links in.
I would like to have some of Gina's stencils, but I don't have any. So she has a really cool orange, like an orange slice.
Yeah, that's one.
I really like that one.
Yeah, I think that's everybody's favorite.
Yeah, and I like the feathers too. The feathers are cool.
I like the painted feathers that she did on the fabric.
Oh yeah, beautiful, beautiful.
Gorgeous stuff.
Okay, here's another option of a homemade thing. This is leftover rubber from when you trim out stamps. And I just stuck it on a piece of packaging material. And it's a fun design printer. Using this Dirty Martini and pesto, chopped pesto paint. And it also, of course, can be a stamp as well, so you can make impressions on another plate while you're taking paint off of one. Or if you run out of room, you can always do another one.
That's true.
It's not like I don't have 27 plates over here. Creating crusty bits. So this comes out really pretty as a first layer. It's like kind of like bamboo. The pattern that I did on it is kind of like a bamboo. Looks like I'm going to need a couple prints off of that. Some more recycled paper. It's pretty. I like it.
Yeah.
Might go and add some of this brown back into that by putting it on my other thing. Let's see if I can get some out. If I can just roll it over the top of this, if I don't have a plate out that I can use, just spray it right onto this piece of trash, which is my favorite one. It's my favorite piece of trash.
That's good. We all have our favorite trash.
Yep. That's always
Speaking
fun.
of trash, that's part of what Jerry does is she recycles.
Yep.
So we are part of the recycling for art. No, art parts. No.
Recycled parts for art.
Recycled part. Thank you very much. My brain
Some days it just doesn't come out right.
But yeah, check out Jerry's recycled parts for art.
Yeah.
That's very cool too.
I think this is building up to be lovely, just lovely. I am going to put some gold or copper. Gold or copper? Gold or copper? Copper. Who are we kidding? Over the top of this nice pile of crusty stuff. That's what we get.
This is just, cleaning off the plate.
Oh, let me switch back to you.
I was doing the, this was a print that I was making using this one. And then I was cleaning off the plate, and look at all of that iridescence on the black.
Yummy.
Yeah, that's going to be some fun collage paper.
So what are we doing next week? Collaging with these?
Do we need to call out to the crowd, or do we just need to make something with what we've got here?
Ask them what they want.
What do you guys think? What would you like to see?
I have to turn my stupid pad back on to see what they're saying.
Karen's leaving. Cindy Utter's here. Hey, ladies. Yeah, Cindy, you are definitely an admin. You can put in links for people. I was talking about recycled parts for art, and I was talking about Gina, and I was talking about you guys. So, yeah, put in some links for people because, if people are here and haven't found them, I want to make sure that they can find that. Carol's saying that Gina's stamps and stencils are fantastic, and we know that.
Yeah.
I have her stamps, and I love them. I think I've even done a video with them. Okay.
I think you have, actually.
And would love to see you make something with these prints. Can you put in my chronic pain page? Absolutely. Yeah, Cindy's got a group for chronic pain. So any of you that are suffering, whether it's depression or, you got a bad back or knee or, headaches or whatever, it's for anybody who is suffering in some way and needs a support group. Yay. Go
Cool.
check it out, because that's what they're there for, is to help one another. So, and yeah, Jerry's group is up now too, which is great. Love that. So we got one vote for using what we've got here.
Okay.
Let me grab some of these and put them up here. Some of them have been drying now for a while, so I can show them some of what we did.
That one I just pulled was really pretty, but I didn't say anything because you were talking. It was pretty. I'm going to do something with this one now. Maybe some different green or something. How about this light green? That might be kind of pretty against the darker green. This is a brilliant yellow green. And this is all that other stuff that I put on there is dried now. So I just need to put a thin coat of another color on there to marry with it to play kissy face and make babies or something.
Whoops. Knocking things over here.
I wish my silly pad would stop turning off. I don't know how to. I'm sure there's a way to make it stay on all the time.
I think it changed when they did the upgrade. I think the amount of time it stays on is less than it was before. I got to figure that out. Maybe somebody knows and can help us. I don't know.
Ah, that's pretty. See, you can see the pattern in the background of the darker green, kind of. And then the pattern of the trashy stuff, and then the light green in the background. That'll be pretty collage paper. So you've got your stack?
Yeah, I do. I'll just kind of flip through what we've done here. See if I can get it in frame. Get the paints and things out of the way. Okay, so these were just text weight paper for collage. And so I'm just going to flip through these. Some of them are cleanup things. Some of them, you know, have different components and elements that I'll end up tearing up and using for collage. Things like this. And then on the black paper, here's one that I did using that mask. And then the cleanup from that. See the iridescence. Here's the mask that I had made. The two prints from that. This one was where I thought it needed something to bring it out, so I had printed the original and then I'd come in with that blue black over the top. This was a double print where I had done the first print just to clean off, and then I had put down the second one to put the words on top. So this makes a cool start for a page. Just some more cleanup. This is where I was using that 4x6 to show you what you get with the different prints. More of the ones that I'd made. That one. This one I love with the black. That was one of my first prints, I think, as was this. I love this. And that one. And that's it. That's all I did. How about you? You ready to show?
I'm just doing some cleanup of my plates that have a lot of stuff, you know, stuck on it.
Yeah.
So I can show those. I'm just like letting them dry. I think this was the first one I started with, the 6x6. So, yep, that one's ready. So that's buff titanium cleaning off the gunk, you know, that was on there. There's still a couple little bits on there, but mostly clean. I don't bother wiping them with anything or, you know, doing any of that. Same thing on this one. Just cleaning up stuff. Then this one, I think I put some quinacridone gold. Ooh, that's pretty. So that's just the cleanup, and then I can show you all the prints that I made. So we already saw these. That was a cleanup too, and that was the one that I did the light over the dark, and we've already looked at these two. So this one is copper and pesto, and then the brown, the coffee bean over it. This is the one that I just did it's just one layer of the dirty martini and chopped pesto using my little texture tool.
I don't think I saw that coffee bean before. I love that.
Yeah, that's a really dark brown, this coffee bean.
Yeah,
Illusions.
it does a wonderful print.
Yeah. This one had other coffee. That was coffee bean also, and I first printed one that was coffee bean and chopped pesto, and then the one over the top with some. Oh, I did some texturing with. It almost looks like snake skin.
Yeah,
it's texturing with this bag, this onion bag.
Yeah, yeah.
I like to do that. So, I mean, I didn't even hardly delve into all my trash. Well, it's fall. I mean, I know brown's my favorite color. This one has several layers of different stuff. I just kept cleaning up stuff with it. So, but it's very pretty.
Yeah. Well,
this is the one
that grungy, scratchy looking stuff.
Yeah,
collage.
definitely.
It's perfect.
This one just has that iridescent blue black, which looks kind of purple on this, with a little bit of pickup of the copper. And that's the only dark one I did, because you were doing dark ones. This one has some of that compass stencil with some of the. This is the only one that I did in my colors. Some of this. You can't do brown all day. Oh, I guess this pink one too. That's more, and that has the copper underneath, the copper printing, and so does this one with the green. That one was a cleanup
with some of these.
Oh, this one was pretty.
I can put some things out there for you guys, but I love that one. That's gorgeous.
This is the Prussian blue with the gold.
Oh, that's colors. Ooh,
it's a good color combination.
Yeah.
More. I guess I did more than I thought. Look at all these. That's the compass. I had the brown already printed with some of the copper, and then I did the compass through the stencil.
Yeah, cool.
Love this one. That's got some of the copper printed over the top of a different one with the black in the background. And this one, oh my God, I love this one. Look at that one.
Yeah.
And those were the first ones I did. And then this is the one I did as a composition. So.
Oh, awesome.
So that's all of them, I think. So I guess we're done. Are we done for today?
I guess we're pretty close to that. Be sure and check out those other channels, guys. And I guess the consensus is we'll be back next week and do something collage-y.
Something collage-y. Oh, there's a lot of comments. We missed a lot of comments. Okay, this is mostly like links and things. People saying goodbye.
Yeah.
People saying thank you.
So we want to thank you for having been here. You know, it takes somebody special to come in and join you live and chat with us. So we appreciate you. Really appreciate you. So
this is my roll-off page. Sometimes your roll-off page is pretty. So
it's collage, right?
If I just printed something over the top of that, it would be beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really appreciate everyone coming, and we appreciate everyone watching later. If you guys can, of course, give us thumbs ups and all those type of things, comments and things, that's helpful for our channel so that other people can find us. because some other people might want to watch live, or share on your Facebook, or pin it on Pinterest or something like that.
So Dorothy's saying thank you, goodbye till next time, and I guess that's a wrap.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.